Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Woo! It's been a heck of a week. We have been running like crazy, and I just got a call right before the live stream started. So off camera, I'm up here trying to book a flight to Chicago because I need to get up there next week to do some evals for the project is changing just a little bit because of a grant. So we kind of getting pressed to make a few changes. So we're going to be doing that. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. We got a bunch of we got a bunch of folks from all over the world chiming in. So again, I appreciate y'all's time for y'all being here with me. We're probably gonna be a little short today, only because I actually got home yesterday. I didn't do it. Show the camera because I just been running. Because I think Monday we got up and we're doing the new digital wall at TCF. Tuesday I had an appointment in Victoria, Virginia. Then went to Petersburg, Virginia. Then came back, had a bunch of products come from Amazon for a new computer that I was going to do a video for, but everything was damaged when it came in, like in horrible state. So I had to ship all that stuff back out. Wednesday morning at 5 a.m., went back to TCF, finished all of that, the rest of that install in about at 3 p.m. Then got back home. Yesterday, ended up putting the infrastructure for a third PTZ camera at Antioch, which I forgot my camera to record all that. So we did that. Came home. I got in bed at 4 o'clock and just was asleep until 1 o'clock in the morning. Went to go get something to eat. Came back, fell back asleep, and I woke up at 9 o'clock. So we've been rolling. I'm gonna see what else we can get done today. But let me holler at a bunch of y'all folks here. We got I got my notepad back behind here. I'm gonna show y'all what we got going on. But while we're doing this, Darius, hey, good morning. Philip Paul, hello. Creative for Fun, hello, good morning to you. Albert, hello. Eric from Las Vegas, hello. Mr. Clarence, how are you doing, sir? Alex, thank you for chiming in. I know it's a little bit later for you. Michael, hello. Streets of Destiny, how you doing? Tamara, how you doing from Maryland? Hello. G-Man, how you doing? RK from Texas, how you doing? JD from Columbus, Ohio, how are you doing? Parker, hello. Mom's Video from San Fran, how you doing? Nick from Canada, how you doing? Mr. Bruce, how are you doing? And Double Deckers from the UK, how are you all doing? Y'all already saw the poll, folks. Starting it off on every time when we do our videos like this, I highly recommend it, y'all, if you're live streaming on YouTube or Facebook, wherever, go ahead and put a poll or something like that just to remind people about liking your stream, your content, because that's what actually, boost your stuff in the algorithm. Is called engagements. That's why, honestly, as much as I don't like them, thankfully we don't have a lot on our channel. Good or bad comments are impressions. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. And why is that pedal not working? Why is my pedal not working? Now I can't get rid of my comments on the screen with my pedal. But any type of engagement is good, folks. And TV Sud from France, bonjour. Thank you for stopping by. But all of it is an engagement. And I'm sorry, Sash Media Productions from Jamaica. Hey, I've actually been there a couple of times. I need to get out there again too, but running a business and getting people to pay their bills and all this other stuff has kind of made it a little bit difficult for me to do as much vacationing as I need to. I need a break. But hey, we're here. But anyway, y'all are not here to hear about me complaining. I am here to try and help you with your media ministry questions as best as I possibly can. Why are none of my buttons working? Well, actually, let me take that back. My buttons are working. Just the ones I need are not. Comments. Oh, I see what I did. Hold on a second. Come on. That ain't it. Come on. What? I have no idea what is going on with my comments now. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Hopefully that. No. What in the world? Why is all my stuff breaking today? It was just working. Anyway, we're trying to see what we can do while we're going through here, folks. So, if you're not just know, folks, if you got more questions for me, know that you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond to you. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, folks, I highly recommend you join. Go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. And should I switch over to this camera so that I can do what I need to do? Yeah, I'm going to switch over to this because I have no idea why this is not working for me. All right, maybe that will work now. I don't know how in the world that got kind of out of place. Anyway, where else I left off? That no, if you email me back and forth, folks, and we got more than 3 emails, I highly recommend that you go ahead and set up a consultation. Go to ajhomes.com/consultations. That is the easiest way for dedicated time for me to answer your questions and work through whatever you got. Like I said, this Saturday I'm gonna be down at Hampton for a on-site. Tuesday I have a meeting, and then Wednesday and Thursday it looks like I'm by the end of this live stream I'll know. I'm probably going to be in Chicago Wednesday and Thursday to do a site inspection and some other stuff with the police at the church. We need some documentation for some other stuff, a threat assessment for the church and things like that. So that's what we got going on. So this is kind of a last minute kind of thrown together. Just know, folks, that, I mean, obviously the week after that is Thanksgiving. Then for me, when it comes to business, and I need to actually look at my calendar right now, normally I always shut down in December because it's my daughter's birthday. We got holidays. We got all this other stuff going on. So for me, this is just a heads up for anybody who wants to contact me from work. I literally only have December 2nd through the 5th available. The 9th through the 12th has to be local. So I won't be going out of Richmond or anywhere like that. And then pushing it is the 16th through the 19th. After that, I am closed for the rest of the year. So I have about like 5 projects, and I'm telling the churches as well too. If I don't hear back from y'all, your stuff is getting pushed to next year. Just from a time standpoint. But anyway, with that being said, if you have any questions, folks, please go ahead and start them off with a Q. So it makes it very, 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 very easy for me to see them. And we are going to fire away. I don't believe I've forgotten anything. That's what I meant to tell y'all. Just a heads up on some videos, concepts that we're working on, that even though I'm not doing appointments in December, this is where I'm probably going to do a lot of videos. So just giving you a heads up, these are the videos that are coming down the pipe. I need to actually re-record this. We're going to do a OBS 101, vMix 101, Ecamm Live 101, ATEM 101, 2024, 2025 edition, Presenter 101, Pro Presenter 101, Unify 101. I already did the Sunday vlog, so I can actually mark that out as completed. After service post-production, we've started doing that again. We're also doing a video on podcast setup, everything from getting registered, all that stuff again. Stuff has changed, so we're going to go back through that again. Hybrid service setup, we've talked about that. Easy Worship 101, Song Show 101, Open LP 101, audio mixing interview. I'm actually in talks with trying to get in touch with Drew Brasher and a bunch of other people. Want to have a video with him, lessons for pastors. I'm going to do a podcast or something, interviewing some people like that. Redoing the Bible study game show 2025 edition. We're going to rebuild a streaming PC. That was the video that I ordered the stuff for Amazon, but all the stuff was broken. We're doing it, and that was also going to be the video for Philip Paul. You asked this. This was with those parts. I was also going to do a complete guide of how do I remotely access a computer, turn it on remotely, all this other stuff. That was going to be a part of that. Networking basics, behind the scenes of how I make my videos and how I edit my videos. Those are all the stuff, all the videos that we're looking to get done for the rest of this year. So that's all the stuff. But anyway, I think I've stalled enough. Hopefully giving y'all enough time. If you have any questions, all that other cool stuff. Let's see. Let me go back to page 1. See if we got any questions going through on here. Oh, I didn't even say that. Hold on. See, I'm messing up already. Button 3, super source, boom. We got Pro Presenter. And the last thing I meant to mention is, folks, if you like what we do, there's multiple ways you can become a Patreon supporter. You can become a YouTube member, or you can go buy some merch from emissionarygear.com. My other shirts I ordered, they were supposed to be here. The media one was supposed to be here, and it got delayed. So I was supposed to have that on today. That hasn't came in yet. But also, folks, email me and send me a picture of your media team. I want to shout them out, give them their props, because a lot of times we are the last people to be thanked, if we're thanked at all, for the stuff. So let me use this platform to try and shout out your team. Send me a picture of your media ministry team, even if it's just you. Send me a picture so I can shout you out to the heavens, to everybody out here on YouTube, to give you your flowers while you're still here, and thank you for all the stuff that you're doing. Just send me a picture, send it to questions@ajhomes.com, make the subject my media team, give me your church's name and your location, and that's about it. And again, thank you for those who are still purchasing my books on Amazon. I really appreciate that. I still got maybe about like 5 or 7 more here behind me. If you wanted them to be autographed or whatever, I can send them out. You go to AJaytheCEO.com and you can get them from there. So I think now we've covered everything. And I'm just waiting to see if y'all got any questions, and we fire it away from there. So I'm looking through here to see if we got any. Nothing on page 1. Mom's video was saying, hope you got some rest after the digital screen install. Could see it in your eyes. No, it is not enough. I think I pulled something, and if I lift my arm in a certain way and stand, there's a shooting pain in my back. And it's random. Like it's not all the time. Like right there, if that was happening, this would have hurt. It doesn't hurt right now. So like when I just did that, I felt it right there in my lower back. So I don't know. Trying to do some more stuff, but I mean the work never ends. Not that I'm complaining, but I am complaining. So I don't know. It's kind of hard when the stuff that we do, it's the way I am when it comes to media ministry. Real talk, there's a lot of times I don't want to do this stuff. I really do. But I believe that when you see something and you notice it and no one else does it, I feel that that's an assignment, that's the reason why you were able to see it, because it was meant for you. So a lot of times I do, real talk, I do a lot of stuff that I don't get paid for. And I really should charge. I don't. And that's kind of just my personal thing. Sometimes I really get upset that I'm like, why am I the way I do? Why do I continue to help people when they don't do stuff like that? They don't treat me the same way. Why do I give to people when they don't give back to me? But then I have to sit back and I'm reminded I don't do it for them. I do it because it's my calling, but I'm human. That stuff does get frustrating sometimes. And then it's hard to, when you're doing something to help people out and they have no clue what you're doing. So now you have to fight their ignorance. And I have to tell my daughter, ignorance is not a bad word. Even though people imply ignorance is just a lack of knowledge in a given subject. Everyone is ignorant, just in different subjects. You don't know everything. But for me, stupidity is when you're ignorant in something and you refuse to get knowledge on it and you walk in your ignorance in pride. That's stupidity. That's me. But I don't know. Sometimes I sit back and it's like, I believe in preventative maintenance. You moving forward, you making changes. If you see something that can be better, you do it. You just don't let stuff coast and things like that. But that was my mini little spiel there. All right. Albert, interesting observation. I'm watching on my Mac Mini and iPad. The iPad is getting blasted with ads. The Mac Mini is just humming along with no issues. That because I have nothing to do with that. That's YouTube. It just depends on whatever the device or whatever the presence, whatever the account. It changes ads for whoever, in any way, shape, or form. Double Deckers wants to know any ad blockers on the Mac Mini. I use any ad blockers I use. They are inside of Chrome. So for me myself, the ad blocker I'm using Ad Blocker Ultimate right now. So this is the one that I use. So like right now, I'll go to PSN profiles. So if you want to look at my gamer stuff, if I go, this is my gaming profile, Sir Triggerlot. So I platinumed Astrobot. I am currently playing Lego Horizon Adventures. Very fun game. I'm playing that right now. But normally it would be ads all over the place. So if I turn this off just for a hot second, you'll see all the wonderful ads that pop up all over the place on this thing. There go one. And actually, let me refresh the page because then you'll probably see even more. Because normally these spots on the side have ads, and it just gets all over the place. Let me go back to the home screen because that's where they're really guilty of a lot of stuff. It still must be blocking it because normally where all the white space is, that's where it has ads that are all over the place. But again, that's the one that I use right now. I used to use another one, but I think Google has started blocking that one. I do not believe in blocking ads on YouTube, mainly because I get revenue from YouTube. So I don't block that. Well, how I get around that is I have YouTube Premium. That gets me away, still able to support the people that you're using because that premium is paid as a way back to content creators as well too. Because when you skip ads, that stops the ad revenue from going to your favorite creators. And honestly, I use YouTube Premium, so if we ever had to play anything at church, it blocks that ad, and you won't get surprised with some nonsense there. Creator for fun. Yes, I am soon to have a 10-year-old little girl. Wesley here. What lavalier would you recommend? Well, it all depends. What type? Do you want one that's clipped on? Do you want a halo? And what is your system? I've used a bunch of these. Okay, hold on. That was the church for Chicago. Give me 1 second. I need to send out an invoice to them so I can get paid, so I can go buy these flights, so I can be out there. I'm going to send this a different way so that I can get paid so I can buy these flights because I need them ASAP. Anytime else, I use FreshBooks for my invoicing and stuff like that. So if I do it a different way, it takes about like 3 days for this stuff to come in. Past due, what is that? I'm going to have to do this a different way. We got to take care of that. So I will cut out here in a second. But let me know that's set up, and then we'll go from here. And I got to do some jumping to get this stuff done. Double Deckers. There's a U.S. company called Giant Squid who do some great lavalier mics. I have one. Awesome. Thank you for that. Fred Lee Photography from Ghana. Hey, thank you for jumping in. AJ, there's talk of a new OC Go stream device next year. What would you like to see in it? I enjoyed your review of the Duet. What would I like to see in it? Honestly, I need the framing to be a lot more sturdy. What I've seen is the rim around mine has chipped, and I keep my stuff in relative good condition. I have like a shelf where I keep all my stuff right here, so it's not like anybody's down here. It's just me here. It's been kind of, for lack of a better word, it's been flimsy on some of the casing. So I would say a more sturdier case would be one thing that I would really like for something like that. And I'm sorry, I'm talking while I'm trying to get this email address for this church so I can send this invoice to them. There we go. That is First United Methodist Church. That's what I would like to do, and then also a web interface, so that if I can go to the IP address, I can pull it up. Since there's no dedicated software, that will be another thing that I would really like. And maybe if they did 6 or 8 HDMI outs, I think that would be really, really cool. Yeah, that's what I would really, really like. So again, I think we are good. I'm really sorry for being distracted right now, just because this got caught up, and if I don't do this, there's no way for me to actually pay for all the stuff for me to get to Chicago next week. So give me a half a second. Again, I am apologizing for adding this stuff. Labor, and that's one. And I think we are good to go. I think this is the interesting thing about just trying to do business is, especially with me. I mean, trying to. I'm talking too much. Let me send this off, and then we can get going here. Come on. Yeah. All right. So that's out. Giaba, it's not Worship Extreme anymore. It's Presenter. And yes, I was gonna do that's one of the ones I already have. It's Presenter 101. It doesn't. It's It used to be called Worship Extreme. Then the company became Worship Extreme. Then the product became Presenter, and then the company's name changed from Worship Extreme to Worship Tools. So yes, I am doing that. Streets of Destiny, yes, I did. I have it marked down. I haven't had a chance to look at it because I've just been running. But I am going to do a review of your live stream. Mr. Clarence, chuckle for you. I had garbled OBS audio so bad I was about to replace my sound card. Then I upgraded to NDI 5 to NDI 6 and deleted OBS NDI stuff. Problem solved. Yeah, the old one made some issues, and they kind of pushed it out to make a change about that. So make sure y'all do update that. Hold on one second. I sent her the invoice directly from Stripe. Mr. Bruce, what is your delay time from live to YouTube via a wired connection at church? Our wireless system has a delay of 1 minute and 20 seconds. At Antioch, it's like 20 seconds. Sometimes it's lower. I've never seen it go higher than that unless there was an issue. And what's the path of how you're connecting to your live stream? What equipment are you using? Mr. Skillo, what would you keep extra in a Pelican case as a media tech for just in case situations? Batteries, HDMI cables, adapters, SDI connectors, tools to make SDI connections, crimper for Ethernet connections, a smaller. Hold on, my handle is blocking my shelf. I think it's on my other screen. One of the mini capture cards, USB HDMI ones, ways to make Ethernet cables. Those would be the main things. Extra cables, extra USB cables, batteries, tools for making patches for either cables, SDI cables. I don't know how to make HDMI cables. They haven't made nothing yet that I've seen that you can make your own. When they do that, I will make my own, but I don't want to touch that. Ethernet cables, SDI cables, audio cables, adapters for going from 1/4 inch to 3.5 millimeter, those type of things. Those are the things that I would have extra, and I have all the time. Patrick, I have a Netgear M4250 managed switch, and it has profiles to configure ports for NDI. One profile is NDI 4 and the other is NDI 5. I'm using Proclaim, so how do I know which one Proclaim uses? I am not familiar with managed profiles on switches for NDI, so I do not know on that. But from a high level, um, normally you would tag a port on what type of protocol is going to be used. At least that's how it is with the unified one. If you have a VLAN or if you have something that has certain rules on a port, you would assign it for the given port, and that's how it would work. That's my assumption, but without seeing it, I'm not 100% sure. So you said the Netgear M4250, and that's AV over IP switches. That is what it is saying. Yeah, I would have to do a much deeper dive in this because I have no idea without, and this is just telling you like stuff you want to buy. I would need technical to actually see what the interface is, how do you route and all that other stuff like that. So off the top of my head, I don't know, but I would push that off to everybody else. Anybody else aware of that? Please help out Patrick. Greatly appreciate that. Nick, do you use a Stream Deck to control your PTZ cameras? No, I do not. I use a joystick. And speaking of, AVCams is actually supposed to be sending me another joystick. I don't know if it's a new one or it's the same one. It's supposed to actually be here tomorrow, so I'll do a review on that. I assume it's probably going to be something new, but we'll see. Like I said, I still need to do the review for this camera. This is the 4K wireless one. I've recorded this video like 4 times, so I need to finish that up and go from there. But I'm going to keep it on this camera right now. I don't have the hand tracking on for right now. Yeah. We are in the same boat. I have a 10-year-old in December and the second one next October. Yep. Loving it. She is sending me text messages, and I'm like, babe, I love you, but please don't text me while you're in school. Alicia, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Church currently live streams via cell phone, which produces poor output. What can I connect to cell phone so feed is coming from a digital camera? No one as password to GB account. GB, I don't know what that is. What can I connect to a cell phone so feed is coming from a digital camera? Well, technically, if you're live streaming from your phone, you could get yourself an A10 Mini Pro for $295. Then you could tether that to your phone, so your phone is providing internet for the ATEM, and then you can connect whatever camera you want that has HDMI out to that ATEM. That's the easiest way. There is nothing that I know of that, unless you go with Switcher Studio or something like that. But I've had so many churches move from Switcher Studio away from that because it's been inconsistent. I would say, or even that we talked about the, I don't believe the OC Go Stream Deck allows for tethering with a mobile phone, but it's the same price as the A10 Mini Pro. $295. You could hook up your phone and it'll become a tether. I've used that multiple times for live streaming football games over the past year, so it works fine. And that would allow you to hook up higher quality stuff there. Alex, my wife and our firstborn daughters are December babies, 29th and 22nd. My daughter's the 22nd, so that's her birthday. Happy early birthday to all of them. You must have some fun with that. Okay, how do I have the ATEM control center on one monitor, which I control the ATEM from, while the other monitors are what viewers see? I have the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, or what do I need for this to work? Well, this is kind of the same setup that I have right now. Let me turn off this camera, and I do have the computer behind me is in the way, so I'm going to have to move that. but I'm going to show you kind of like my setup, which is the same thing. And I think I can use this shot. So, 6. So here in my setup right now, I have all these screens. This one is what y'all see. So if I cut over to that shot right now, see, that's the screen that you're seeing. This one right here. So how I have it is these two monitors are going to my computer. This one is going to my computer, but I have this on a splitter, an HDMI splitter that goes here, and then it connects to my ATEM. So that is the only screen you see. So y'all never see these two screens at all. This is the only one that you're ever going to see. So if I switch this, and no, we're not going to show our invoicing. If I go here back to my profile here and go to Sir Triggerlot on PSN profiles, see, that's what I have on this screen. And then because input number 4 for my ATEM is there, that is what you're seeing. That is the only thing I have connected. I do not have these monitors connected in any way, shape, or form. So that's the same way how I'm doing it at Antioch. I changed something there, and they're gonna be in for a surprise. So if I log in here, and like I said, y'all are only seeing that one, and I don't know why this camera is now showing tracking messages on here. So if I cut over here now, and I'm pressing the wrong button, my bad. If I go over here now, the way I have this set up is originally, I'm gonna do this widescreen because I normally don't do it this way because there are two monitors here. So this is the flow, and how ProPresenter originally was set up, this monitor is duplicated of what goes to the ATEM. So that when anybody is putting up scripture and lyrics, it shows up on this monitor as well as it goes out to the projectors, the ATEM to put up on whatever. I have since done away with that because this computer also has a DeckLink mini recorder. So it only works with ProPresenter. I had it set up as a stage display. They never wanted to use it. So now, it used to be if I put anything on this screen, that's what will show up on the projectors. I don't want to do that anymore. So we now have it to where this is a fully workable area. So now they can be here, have this screen to look at the live stream. This is putting up whatever for the screen, for the wall, for whatever, for announcements, but they have another workable area. Originally, this screen was connected to the ATEM. It is not. I've decoupled it. It is not going through a splitter like my setup is here now. So long answer, but hopefully that answers your question. And because people keep going to dumb websites, normally I've never had to put antivirus on my computers, but a whole lot of people have been going to stuff they don't need to go to. Oh, and just as a side note, somebody asked this question. I am playing around with it. I do have Reaper. Otis, thank you for that. And a bunch of people. This is Reaper. This will allow me to do multi-track recording from the X32. So I was at the church Tuesday, and I hooked the X32 up to here. So I'm going to do a video talking about how to do multi-track recording too. So that's another video I need to write down on my pad on here. Let's cut back. No, let's go to this camera. Let's go to this one. Mom's video. November 20th will be my last choir rehearsal for church unless they ask for something for Christmas, which reminds me, I have to play for Fifth Sunday in December, so I need to start getting my music prepared for that too. Shutting down for the year. If you don't take it now, when? Exactly. Understood. Double Deckers. Hey, you are welcome. Reverend Leroy. Hello, hello. Hogs and Cattle. Love the name. Sounds like you might have an aggregator nerve from possibly being in a chair in front of a computer for long periods of time. Ergonomics and exercise is the key. I wish it was from me sitting. It is from me lifting and doing all this other stuff. Sitting, honestly, has not bothered me as much. I think it's just I might have overdone it or put myself in a weird position when I have to lift up the screens and stuff like that. Because most of the time, if I had it to do again, and it's mainly a cost issue, my ladder can go up to 27 feet high. And if there's anything higher than that, kind of like when I had to move 31st Street, I was right on the cusp of how high I could go with my ladder. if I had it to do again, normally I would do scaffolding. And the issue is getting the scaffolding, getting it delivered, bringing it in, setting it up, breaking it down. And then most of the scaffolding will add around, like, depending on the height, $300 to maybe like $1,500 for the total transportation and all this other stuff. And most of the time, clients don't want to pay that. So that would be easier because I would have a flat platform and I wouldn't have to be lugging it up the ladder, up and down and stuff. That's what I think I actually ended up doing it. But most of the time, I want to thank the West. They sent me a care package of Epsom salt. So most of the time, I just soak in a hot tub most of the time. But I've been so tired, I'll go straight to bed, and I actually need to do that. Bruce, path is 1ME to OBS to Boxcast to website. 1ME to OBS to OBS and Boxcast? Why are you using both, if you don't mind me asking? Just wondering. That's strange. Because normally every jump is going to add some delay on there. I know OBS doesn't have a delay that you can turn on. Wait, it doesn't have a delay like that you can turn on. Actually, I take that back. There is a delay that you could add in there in OBS. What's that setting? Boxcast, I have mine over here. Probably need to update mine and see if there's a delay. But I have to look on that. I don't know off the top of my head. I have a Personas mixer, and it has 2 TRS ports left and right. Would it be best for me to get 2 balanced TRS to 3.5 cables to my ATEM Mini, mic 1 and 2, and put them in mic level for no ground loop? No, do not put them in mic level at all. And you don't necessarily need to have them. I wouldn't do it to left and right to your mic. You can just get dual 1/4 inch to a 3.5 and just have them going into mic 1. You don't necessarily have to have 1-to-1 like that. You could, it doesn't hurt. But I mean, you're just giving yourself a little bit more work to make sure both of them are level when you can just have it go into one. But either way, that would work. Can I use a MIDI controller to control OBS screen and etc.? Yes, you could. No, I have not used it. I mean, there's plugins for almost anything. I think I've seen somebody talk about it. I don't know off the top of my head, but yes, you can. Back to G-Man. I need to monitor my ATEM, but there's no sound coming out of the computer it's connected to. I'm also using OBS. I need to monitor my ATEM, but there's no sound coming out of the computer it's connected to. I'm also using OBS. In OBS, make sure that you have, if you want to hear that, you need to go into OBS and make sure you have output set as well too. So if I cut back over here to my OBS, whenever it wants to open, you see this was when this was the setup I was doing here. So inside of here, you need to come in here to your audio. So right here, and come out here to advanced. And if you make sure monitor and output, you will hear the audio that's coming from OBS to what you're connected to. Make sure you have that. If you have that and it's not working, Mike has talked about it. There's a, I forgot the name of it, but there's an audio mixer plugin that gives you a lot more control with your audio when you're using OBS for your audio stuff. But I would check that first because that's how I have mine, so I can hear when I remote in. I need to turn that on so I can hear the audio remotely if I'm connected to like Chrome Remote Desktop. Can you put together a kit for just in case situations and make a video on it? Sure. Media just in. I'll do it just in case. I'll work on that. Norm, good morning to you. Stretch, can you use any joystick with any PTZ cameras? Well, it all depends. The first thing is you need to make sure what protocols that your camera supports. Typically, that's VSCA. Newer ones, VSCA over IP. Pelco, but on VIF, most of them are Visca, and Visca over IP or on VIF are allowed for over the network ones. Let me disconnect this for a second. So for the most part, like this joystick here, I have my IP connection here. We control this. There is a RS422 connection. This is more like an old-fashioned like daisy chain one, but it's using Ethernet cable. This is a RS232. This is the traditional setup like it's at Antioch. They don't have an IP controller. It's still RS232 over Visca protocol. So I have to run daisy chain the cables to each one. So this joystick, I could take this and replace this joystick at Antioch, and I would just connect it to the RS232, and it could talk to my joysticks, to PTZs. All the PTZs I installed also have Visca over IP protocol. So I could disconnect the RS232, connect it over a network, and I can control the cameras that same way. As long as your joystick and cameras all have the same protocol, then yes, they can talk to whichever. But there are some joysticks some cameras that don't support certain protocols. If, like for me, if they don't support Visca over IP, then you're gonna have to use an old-fashioned RS232 or RS422 connection, or if it's Pelco or something like that. So you'll see that inside of the description for the joystick and for the camera. Backup account. What's your thoughts on an AI tracking PTZ, and could you recommend some as well? Well, I'm actually using 3 of them. This one right here, that is a PTZ Optics Move SE. This is a AI tracking one. So if I move, see, it's following me here. Let me turn on the other one. This is a BZB Gear. The one behind me is a 4K one that's also tracking. And now I turn the tracking on. So if I cut over to that one, see, that one is over here. That one is following me as well too. And it's I need to see, why in the world does it keep displaying that information? I don't want it to show anything. So it loses itself because of all the stuff that I have going on the screen. I need to get rid of that. And then we also have the Famaco that is right here. This one is also a tracking one. I have that tracking turned off, but if we turn it on, and so now it's on. So see, they all work. Now, the only thing I would say is it's just me in the setup. The Move one did an update. I haven't updated this one yet. One of the issues that I did have, some of these have not been smart enough to know when to lock onto one person. So like if I had my daughter here and she ran around, it wouldn't know to follow. Like if I go back here to the BZB Gear one, this one is following me. But if I go widescreen, it doesn't know if it's going to follow me or, just like right now, it's going to find anything that's moving. So right now, it's seeing this motion instead of me. So if I go here and say I come over here and I'm going to bring up the live stream. See, now it's following that. It doesn't know to follow me. So that's one of the issues that I have with the AI tracking one. Again, they work fine. It's just, for me, if I had to put this in a church setting, I normally would not turn the AI on until only one person is on the pulpit. So like one of the cameras, at this point, almost all of the cameras come with AI because it's a software one based. So the new camera that we're going to be adding at Antioch, and let me see if I can actually remote in. And I know I can remote in. I want to show you where we're actually placing that camera because it's out of the way of the lights. And let me see if I can remote in and show you what I'm talking about. And I'm saying all this to say, because for all I know, this camera may have AI on it. And I want to test this out because a lot of y'all have asked me about this, and I haven't had an opportunity Why are you not going full screen? To test this out. So I'm a remote in. The cameras are on. I need to put a different PoE switch on here so that they go off. But this is the benefit of them always being on. So if I go to the front camera, and I know it's dark. Hopefully y'all can see here. So if I move this over, so originally, and I'm trying to get this big, that is a PTZ optics. That's the main. Come on, let's get in the focus. I don't know. That's the main camera, and I know it looks horrible. It's mainly because there's no light. This is the mount that I put the other one on. So again, I don't know why I'm not getting better focus. All right, that's better. So right now, that's the main camera that's been there. This is off to the side so we can get a clearer shot to the baptismal. And these are where I ran all the cables. These are daisy chains, so I've ran cables from, the joystick goes to this camera, then it jumps to this camera, then it jumps to the one that's in the front that we're looking at right now. That's the daisy chaining one. If I had an IP one, I wouldn't have to do this at all because all of them are on the network over PoE and they're powered and all this other stuff like that. But anyway, I say that hopefully if this one is AI tracking, this is where I'm going to have a better chance to see how this performs live. Especially sometimes we just got people that don't want to use the joystick, don't want to move, don't want to do anything. And this will hopefully give the pastor some more freedom for him to up and move around, and then we'll be able to follow. The only issue that I have with that is the choir sits behind him. And it's if we can get it to lock on to him when he's moving or whoever's preaching, I think that'll be good. But that would be a good test. If it has that, and whenever they want to pay for it, I can order it, then we'll see how that would work. Guy, do you know about Free Show? I've used it once, but that's where we're going to go. I thought I had that there, but let me add that here. I want to do a whole thing where I go through all of the presentation softwares that a bunch of y'all have had. So I just added that to the list. Somebody has told me about Pre-Show. I think I've used it once, but I haven't really done an in-depth on it, but I will work on that as well. And Prism Live is also one that I didn't write down on here. Again, Prism Live 101. Prism Live Studio Mobile used to allow connecting an external camera to a cell phone for live streaming. I don't know, though, whether they still support it. Yeah, it still does support it, but it still has to go to a computer for their backup account. Can you create a diagram for the best way to get audio from a mixer preventing a ground loop? Honestly, if you're getting a ground loop, I would put like a hum eliminator or something in between the connections. Most of the time, for me to avoid any of that, I just don't have any of my cables. I have insulated cables, I have shielded cables, and I don't put the cables running in parallel near power, so it doesn't give that type of thing. But I will see what I can do. And God, no, I didn't forget your question. It's just that most of the stuff I'm not answering in real time that y'all leave here. I'm looking through my feed and I'm going through the stuff here. So I did get your question. Creative for fun. Thanks for the feedback. I believe I've got through the IP process, got to send you a picture of the kids' media ministry and their setup downstairs. We're so thankful. Hey, you're welcome. And again, I don't know why I didn't write this down. The whole thing was I was doing a Roadcaster Video 101. That was the one I was going to focus on first so I can ship this out to y'all so you can have that for the kids' media stuff. But yeah. And you said the youth ministry media team consists of 2 11-year-olds who will be running the live stream. That's awesome. Bruce. Not sure why the redundancy of OBS and Boxcast will check for the delay. I also have a web presenter, but not used. Striving to remove some of the delay. tough on those monitoring the stream. Well, I would say that's kind of like what I'm doing. I'm using a web presenter right now. Everything is going to OBS originally and then vMix, and that's outputted from OBS because of the graphics and everything like that. vMix, the graphics, and it goes to the web presenter. So that's what y'all are watching right now. So that could work. But if you're trying to do dual purpose, like streaming to multiple platforms, that's why I can understand OBS being in place. But that would be a good option now. Reverend Lightfoot. Hey, AJ, no clips this week. Facebook won't let me download last Sunday's service nor the YouTube version you put on Facebook page. Any suggestions? Yeah, I need to give you the link that you can get it directly from Vimeo, because that's the rough source of everything. You can get it from there, and then you don't have to worry about any of that. Probably make you an account or something that you can log in and pull it down from there. Rob. Hey, good morning to you. Norm, I actually was just talking about that earlier. I have to go up to Elgin because something changed for a grant in the area. So I'm actually going to be up there Wednesday and Thursday to do a threat assessment with the police and some other stuff there to submit this stuff for a grant. So it got delayed a little bit only because a grant became available to take care of some more stuff. Some bulletproof glass and some other stuff like that is available to some churches there in the area. And supposedly I was told that this grant is actually national, so in the U.S. So once I get some more information, I will bring that to you. But I plan to be up there Wednesday and Thursday, and if they paid for this, I'm going to go ahead and book this flight now so I make sure I'm there. So not yet. But once that goes through, I'll be there for Wednesday and Thursday. Dean from work, how's it going? I'm tired, but that ain't nothing new. That's how it normally is. Robert, good to see you. We used to pursue PTZ cameras along with the facility IP controller. Sweet. The camera tends to move on their own. I've seen this happen before. We've tried resetting the IP controller, but the issue persists. Have you encountered this? Yes, I have. What I've had to do sometimes was I had to re-terminate the cable sometimes, going there, and then also what I've had an issue with that before is I've had to set all of those IPs in the router so that they don't get assigned to anybody else, and set the PTZs and the joysticks so that they no extra traffic. So what I've seen people have done before, that they manually set your, like my cameras, mine are like 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. They have them set in the camera, but they're not set inside of the router. So the router will just say, oh, it's available. It will assign it, and sometimes it's a battle, and you'll have some ghosting and some moving and stuff like that. That's when I've noticed that the two scenarios, that there was a damage in the cable end, I've had to re-terminate that or protect the IP so that nothing else is going. That's worked for me in those scenarios. Back to Creative for Fun. I have a tracking PTZ, but I don't like the way it tracks the speaker. Makes me dizzy. It does have a tracking device onto it. But the green box shows up in the live stream. Yeah, you need to turn those graphics off, and I need to figure out how to turn mine off, because all of a sudden I'm starting to get these on the BZB Gear one behind me. That's why a couple of videos I've had to fix, because it showed the text. So like in here, go to tracking, and I don't know why it's fluctuating like that. I don't want any display information going on here. So it's not style. I don't know what all of a sudden changed. And I don't know why the camera's acting up right now. It's like flickering all over the place. It won't let me change anything. See, because I have all of this stuff off. So I don't want any video or nothing like that. On-screen display font size, video out. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing that information all of a sudden. What in the world? Yeah, I don't know why mine is doing that all of a sudden. I might have to break out the remote because sometimes the remote might have some menu options that I want to turn off, and I don't know why this is fluctuating. That's the only thing I think. It should be something that you turn that off, but from a tracking standpoint, you just got to play around with those settings, and that's kind of like one thing I might want to try. It's possible it could be that, but I don't think so. I think it's more of the assignment of your IP addresses, or maybe it might be the cables. That's what I would think. And I need to reboot that camera. Do you want Erobi? The only PTZ camera we have has AI, and you're right. I only turn it on when there is only one person on stage. Sweet. Pastor Daniel, I'm gonna be in Chicago Wednesday and Thursday coming up. So just letting you know. I left Restream and I am heading over to Ecamm. No. Yeah, I'm only gonna be there for 2 days. I'm gonna be in. If I book the flight, from what I see, I get there around like 9 a.m. I got to do a threat assessment. So that won't take all day. Probably gonna go around and try and troubleshoot some other stuff, make sure people ain't changing stuff that I put there. And then I'm leaving Thursday morning, so that afternoon I will have available. Rob, I will let you know. I didn't get all the details when Pastor LeBoy called me, so I'll get all that details when I'm up there and bring all that info to y'all. It makes 16v3. We started streaming on the YouTubes the last 2 weeks. I had used it years before. It used to take the stream for preview, but like Facebook would wait for you to hit go live. Is this still an option? Yeah, you have to turn that on and off inside your stream. Let me see if I can show you. It's a setting that is on Facebook as well as in YouTube, like you mentioned. Let me go in here. I'm going to Antioch's one because that's the easiest one I can pull up right now. So, like, if we go, say I go live. Where is it at? Oh, it's not that one. I need to schedule one to show it. Hold on. All right, I'm just waiting for it to show. All right, here it goes. So from here, when you go set up a scheduled one, here are your options. Enable auto start. So if you have this off, it will come in and it'll preview, and then you have to hit the go live. I have mine at auto start because nobody's looking at the stuff here. So I need it to go immediately once the live stream is on. But those are the two checks. I kind of keep the auto stop on when I know my internet connection is stable. If your internet connection is not stable, I would highly recommend you do not check this off, because if your connection drops, it will think that the live stream is over. Then all of a sudden you start a new stream. Now it's a completely different URL, something completely different, and you have to send a message out to tell everybody on the old stream to jump on the new one. That's the reason why I don't have auto stop on, but I do have auto start. So that actually needs to be off on there. So that's about it. So hopefully that helps. That is that setting where you have to do it. And that's only under when you schedule a live stream. If you start to instantly do one, it won't do that. Mr. Skilla, why does my nose feel stuffed up? The tools I have will be available for you if you need them in Illinois. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, one thing I will need to know, so Rob, back to you. I'm not going to do it today when I go up there, but when I do go up there to do the install, I didn't even realize I already had one, and I ended up buying another one. I need to have my masonry Dremel so that I can etch out a perfect rectangle for the Access Ultras that are going to be installed inside of the brick. Those are the external access points that door access controls for cards and key fobs to let you people get into the church. So that's one thing that I'm gonna have to do. I'm this close to thinking about just driving up there. That way I'll have all my tools, because the first time I went up to Chicago, they confiscated my screwdriver because it was too long and they considered it a blade. So I am thinking about driving so that I have all of my tools with me, and then anything else, I'm just like Metal Gear Solid, procure on site for anything else. What's there? Philip Paul. We have the ATEM Mini Pro is currently running our live stream and recording. How can I get the feed for overflow rooms? Was thinking about using a second ATEM. How can I get the feed? I was thinking about using a second ATEM Mini for that duplicate inputs. I mean, that's overkill, to be quite honest. Because if you're using the ATEM Mini Pro, I'm assuming you're using the HDMI out for your multi-view. What I've done, if you don't need the multi-view, you turn that to program, and then that will send the feed out to everywhere else. What you could do, if you really need to do that, keep the HDMI for your multi-view. Don't record directly from the ATEM. Have the USB out from the ATEM Mini Pro go into a computer for OBS. Let OBS do the recording. Then let the second output on the computer running OBS be the distribution that sends to everywhere else. That's why I have it at First Baptist Church in South Lynchburg. I don't know why South Lynchburg is actually in Lynchburg. That's how I have it set up, so that the OBS computer is acting as the distribution that goes to the TVs. That's the easiest way. Thanks. Our PTZs aren't connected to the router, just a LAN Netgear switch. Some traffic is going in there some way. Then, if it's literally just going to the joystick and to your net. Other thing you could check, make sure that if the PTZs do not have internet access at all, make sure the DNS that's set in the settings is local. It's not trying to go out. So another thing I noticed, that sometimes, like at the other church, what church was that doesn't have internet, that I set up a while ago, maybe about 4 months ago, they were having discrepancy issues because they had to hook up a MiFi, a Verizon MiFi, to get to Zoom. And that only is there on Sunday. But the joysticks, the PTZs were set up with their DNS going to 8888, which is Google's DNS. So it would try to go out to the internet with no internet access, trying to get access to that, and it would time out. So make sure everything is local. So if your DNS, say you're connected to a router or whatever, and it's 192.168.0.1, set your DNS to the exact same thing so it's local. It's not trying to go out to the internet and timing out because it doesn't have a connection. Excuse me. Nick, I'm trying to set up 2 Famako cameras that are at the back of the church. Currently, they have a PTZ camera that is using HDMI over Ethernet. Is there much delay using HDMI over Ethernet? Yes, it is. It's not much, but every device that you add adds at least 1 to 2 frames of delay in it. So that should not be that noticeable, but it should be fine. Back to Creative for Fun. I have the Famako tracking PTZ. Shows a green box to track the speaker. Yes, I can turn it off, but then it moves too fast. Should I change the speed? Yes, that's the things you're going to have to dial in with that one. And I'm so hesitant. I'm tempted to take one of these cameras and hook it up temporarily at Antioch just to see how it will work. I may do that. Don't want to do it. I may do it. I'm just trying to convince myself if I should. I really don't want to. But I may do that and see how that would work. All right, so for you, I'm on my Famako one, and let's see. Cause see, mine is tracking, but it's not on for me. So where is that at? Detection. See this target time detection. That's fine. Figure. It's not information. So I have the overlay off. It wouldn't be there. It's not NDI. It's not network. It must be. I don't recall where that is. Autofocus zone. Yeah, I don't. That was tracking. Yeah, I think it's with the remote. It must be something because it's not anything in here. Oh, a tracking hint? I think that's it. Let's see. No, I don't. I don't know. I know I used to get that. And it must be in the menu. I got to play around with that to get a better answer for you. So we'll have to play around with that. Yeah, Reverend Lightfoot, I don't know if that's just going to be the VOP singing or it's going to be a combined. Normally, it would be a combined. If it's combined, I got some stuff that I want to try. But again, I can't try but so much with that because the week before is Christmas and most people ain't trying to come out for choir rehearsal for that. I want to see what we can do. I want to now behold the Lamb. You know, that's a classic. I don't like doing the same. I like trying to mix it up a little bit. You don't think I should leave Restream for Ecamm Live? It all depends. I mean, you a Mac boy, you're a Mac dude. So, I mean, I don't think it's an issue with that. I haven't messed with Ecamm Live in a minute. I had it for like 4 months to do a video and I never did it. So I was paying for something I never used. So that's why I canceled it. But I don't know. I mean, I would say try it. I mean, it's a monthly subscription, so you can always cancel it if you're not happy with it. So. See, be glad I'm not playing like I used to because I would mess people up. I would put Dragon Ball Z, I do Final Fantasy, I do Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda. I would put so much video game music into my shout music or in the middle of church. Like I remember doing 12 Gates to the City and there was like, there are 12 gates to the city. Highlight blue. Bum, 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 bum. I did bum, 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 bum. I did some James Brown in the middle of that. I did some Nina Simone Feeling Good for bum, ba bum, ba bum, ba bum, 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 bum. I forgot the song, but you know, I would always mix any type of stuff. So anybody who knew what I was doing, I remember somebody pulled me aside at the end of church. I know what song you were doing. That's inappropriate. I was like, I think it's more inappropriate that you at your age know what that song is. And I was like, it ain't nothing the matter with music. It's the words that you put to the music that's bad. But whatever. People love just complaining about stuff for the sake of complaining. Wish they would just shut up. Benny, hey, AJ, we're using a M Audio. Hey, I got one of those M Audio. Interface for live streaming. All the knobs are on max values, but the sound is low when we check YouTube. How to get max volume? Well, what is connected to it? How do you have it connected? What do you have going into the line in? What is coming from that? Is that an aux mix? What is the source of the audio going into it? Tag Productions. Thank you for the Sunday vlog. Wish you were able to test the baptismal mic properly. Yeah, but again, people are so quick to want to complain and they have no stinking clue what it. See, that's what if you really wanted me. Sometimes I wish the people that have an opinion on what movie was that? Was it Demolition Man? It was one movie that they said we solved our lawyer issues because we don't have lawyer issues because if the person is found guilty, the lawyer is found guilty too. So they get, if they get the death penalty, they both do it. So that's my play on that. I was like, for the people that want to complain in church, I think the instant you open your mouth and you complain, you immediately volunteer and you're assigned to run the stuff that you have such a great opinion about. So I think, like, if it wasn't for the fact, if I wasn't petty, well, I'm not petty. If I was petty, I would be like this. Oh, you don't want me to do the audio? I'd shut the whole daggone audio system down and be like, nah, you live with it. I want to do that. I really want to. But man, we're slowly evolving. I would like to use Easy Worship to put up by scriptures and OBS on our second screen. Looking for a part 2 of that. Otis, what's going on, sir? Thank you for that. I just mentioned you. I have Reaper installed on the computer at church, so I'm going to play around with multi-track recording to fix that clipping issue that we had last time. What would you say is the main reason for grounded loop noise? Interface with power has been there. We've had to buy a cheap isolator to minimize the sound, but still unsure of the main problems. Yeah, I would keep the cables isolated from each other. Don't have them running right beside power. That has always been, for me, has been the issue. And then when and I don't have it because I've given my last one away, installed it. I had a ground loop and hum eliminator. That's what solved it for me. If you keep having that issue, personally, what I would look into that is if you've done all of that, you might actually have an issue, have an electrician look and see if you have any issues electrically inside the building. That's another thing you would look at. The second part of G-Man stuff. And if you are traveling through Youngstown or church is right off of Interstate 80, willing to work something out with you. Okay, I will let you know. Reverend Lightfoot, can you help me with launching a new podcast for doctorate? Is this one of the things you do? Yeah, that was actually mentioned. I have a list of videos that we're going over, and one of them then was Podcast 101. I did a podcast back in the day when I used to use, what was that service? And then they got shut down and got bought out. Wooshka, that was it. You used to use Wooshka, and then that got shut down, so I need to make a new one. So I do have that as a podcast setup 101. So I do have it as a video. We're going to do that, probably going to be a 2025 version, go through getting everything registered with iTunes. Google is somewhat of a thing, YouTube, Anchor, all those. So we will go over that. Music is neutral. It's the words. When I get a chance to play, I always mix my music. Try putting Thriller in, cannot stop praising his name. Oh, I've put Thriller in. I've put in, man, what is that El DeBarge song? I've mixed so much stuff. I've mixed in Rhythm of the Night in the middle of a church song. I've done Thriller. I always do for offering. I used to do Earth, Wind, and Fire, Fantasy, Boogie Wonderland. I've done a bunch of those songs in the middle of my stuff, and it gets people like, moving. And then if you want to be super stoic and have cobwebs on you and all this other, I was like, that's not the church for me. I mean, times have changed. This is my question. Here's a question for y'all, all y'all scholars out here. And I'm trying not to get heated when I say this, but I have so many people, not so many people, thankfully, but some people are saying that, oh, they don't like this because this is not the way church is. Let me ask you a question. When did church change? Because if we take our regular church services now, they would be considered sacrilegious if we were back in Jesus' time. Having people walk up, moving around, they didn't do that. So at what point did we transition into a different flow of service? And the reason I'm saying that is people who saying this is not how it used to be. Yeah, you're right. It's not how it used to be because things have changed. You have to change. The churches that are struggling are the ones who are just so dogmatic that it has to be this way. Like, oh my gosh, we don't need presenter, open LP, free show, whatever presentation software. We need the plaque on the wall that shows the hymn numbers. That's how it used to be. That's how it was when I grew up in church, and we don't need to. Do you see how stupid that sounds? There's progress. Anyway, exactly, Otis. If you got an opinion, that means you have just selected that that's what you're going to do. I'm testing out an RDP Jump desktop for iOS and Mac OS. There is a cost for both iOS, Mac OS. Is this a cost for Chrome? No, Chrome Remote Desktop is free. Do you have any security concerns? No, I do not. I've been using Chrome Remote Desktop for almost 10 years, and I've not had any issue with that. For anyone that has a complaint, I tell them the complaint department is closed. Definitely. Tag Productions. If you have time to complain, you have time to resolve the issue you're complaining about. Exactly. But they don't want to. They just want to be heard. They want their 15 seconds of fame. And I'm just like, you know what? Go ahead and talk to this wall, because you're going to have more input from this wall than you're going to have from me. Jackie S., your previous videos, you mentioned an OBS training CD. How can I get that CD for my church AV group? That's something that's going to be I don't think it was a training CD, but that's going to be the training videos I'm talking about. There'll be a one-on-one that'll be here on the channel that you can use for that. We must be resonating. From church mixer aux out. So your aux out, there should be, depending on your aux out, there should be a level directly on that's going to give that. Dwight Rose, thank you for being a subscriber. And what board are you using? And then we can actually look at it and see what we can do as well. I also want to ride the petty bus as well, especially when they post a problem in the chat like I'm not listening to the stream to check for issues. Lord, help me to get off the petty bus. Nah, get on the petty bus. Need to. See, I'm trying not to be. But see, I'm like, man, if y'all only knew the amount of time it goes into doing this stuff, like, it's one thing if you got a comment if you want to help, but like some of the comments, like, you're not helping anything. You're if you bring up an issue, this is my thing, and this is kind of the same thing. Try to do on our roundtables. If you bring up an issue, I'm not the person that wants to have a testimony service or any type of thing, and you spend 95% of your time talking about all the hell you going through, and then you just end it with "but God." Like, get out of here with that stuff. If you got an issue, let's put more time into how we can find a solution to it. Because if all you're going to talk about is what's wrong, I don't need you to tell me that. I already got my inner monologue that's telling me what the problem is. I'm looking for people to help join together so we can find a solution. How would y'all like it if this was a Q&Q session? It's a question and question session. AJ, what do you think about that? I don't know. What do you think about that? And we never got an answer. That would be stupid. And I think that's the whole point of people just talking for the sake of talking. That's why people didn't like me when I sat in church meetings. They would talk and talk and talk. AJ, you got a question? Okay, that's great. We've talked about the issue for the last 15 minutes. Anybody got any solutions? Or I'd offer a solution. Well, AJ, I don't know. Okay, I'm the only one to offer the solution. You got one? Well, I don't know. Then sit down and shut up. You're just complaining. I'm offering a solution. You don't want my solution, but no one else is offering one. So y'all just want to talk and bicker and complain. This ain't for me. I'm out. That's just me. And one song, Let It Rain, he plays Purple Rain chords. Yeah, exactly. Music is music. It's all fundamental. You're going to mix chords sooner or later. All of them built off of patterns and sequences 2-5-1, 2-4-5-3-1. I mean, anyway. Only people that complain about that don't know nothing about music. They have a concept of music, but they don't know music. The changes came with the local change in local customs and rituals. Yeah, and they don't realize that we're at a transition of change. Like, that's what it is. Like, I remember, and we talked about this on the round table, and I forgot who said it. I think it was Brother Steve. He had asked about this, and I'm just trying to pull out something. Why does it seem like I'm going to go back to me, back in the day. I remember when we were at Chestnut Grove Baptist Church, we would get there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'd have Sunday school, then we'd have church, then we'd go downstairs, have a repast, then we'd come back for afternoon service at 3 o'clock, then we'll have dinner, then we'd come back for evening service with a partner with another church. That's how it used to be. You would be in church forever and a day. And remnants of that used to be, as much as people don't want to talk about it, when it was slavery times and all this other stuff, when people were allowed to have church, people slaves wanted to be in church because that was their point of peace. They wanted to stay in that as long as possible because of all the crap they would have to go through throughout the entire week. Now, most people forgot about that, and that's got propagated down and down and down the lines, and people forgot where that came from. So, but we ain't slaves no more. We's free now. All this other stuff like that. But we still have old mindsets on why we do stuff. And we talked about it before. Like, oh, this wife, husband's wife used to always cut the ends off of a ham. And oh, my mom showed me how to do that because it kept the flavor. Went to his mother-in-law. Oh, my mom taught me that because it keeps the flavor. Goes to the grandma. Oh, I cut it off because I never had a pan that was big enough. Are we repeating stuff without knowing the real reason why we did it? But anyway, let me get off of that. We got to change, in other words. Change is inevitable. People fighting change is also consistent, because I'll leave that alone. The joys and the abilities of being able to play an instrument. How blessed you are. My next goal in life is learning to play the piano. And I need to get back into it. But tag, it's the intention of our heart. If our heart is for worship, that's all that matters. Yeah, but it's not about worship. And I think the issue with churches now is not about worship. It's not about praise. It's not about teaching people to share whatever message, and then after service, they go out and share that message. It's a country club if you just want to be entertained. Like, my whole concern is you got the same people in Sunday school learning the same lesson that you've been learning for the last 30 years, and you ain't doing nothing with it. You ain't going out and you're not teaching anybody. So you're upset because I'm sitting in front of you blocking your favorite church row, when the more important thing is like, hey, let's get this out. Let's share this out with other people. And if you ain't going to go out and share the message, then get the heck out of the way of the media, who's doing something that the most church isn't doing. They're going out and sharing the message. But if you don't want the message to be shared, get rid of the media ministry. Lock the doors when everybody comes in. Have your country club. Get your members only jacket, and just focus on that. People are forgetting what the purpose of it is. It's not for you just to gather here and you just be comfortable and you be in charge and you trying to control everything the way that you want it to be. It ain't about you. Anyway, HS Audio. Progress takes a couple of 100 years to change. Translation. Sometimes you got to take a couple of laps around the mountain for people to die off. Don't get mad. That's biblical. Darius, I remember sitting in church listening to see when the musician mixed in one of those musical nuggets, youth engagement. Exactly. People, if you're not in music, you don't understand. Like, kids used to be so bored. When I did the youth choir, I would take out whatever that's current and would play that in the middle of service. And they would get so hyped because it would almost be like an inside joke. Like, oh, he played that. Like, I used to have not bets, but I used to challenge our musicians of being like, all right, look, give me 5 songs that are current. All right, we're going to see if we can mix that into this week in some way, shape, or form. We used to always do that. And it made it fun. But I guess church isn't meant to be fun. It's meant for you to gather dust and cobwebs and be irrelevant. I guess that's what church is, huh? I tell the people, don't complain to me if you don't have a solution. Take several seats and sit down. Exactly. Take several seats. Music is neutral. It's just the secular nostalgia that religious leaders complain about. Exactly. Sometimes when the preacher references a song in the sermon, I inject. That's exactly what I used to do. Like, I remember somebody was talking about, today is the church anniversary, and I was like, do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. I would play that in the background, and people would laugh. But it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be reverent. You're supposed to. When you're in church, you're supposed to act like you're at a funeral. I mean, anyway, a lot of stream issues are not on the sender side. It's on the all the time. That's why I always say, if everybody ain't having the issue, I ignore it. Complainers will run out of 90% of African churches where we mix almost every song. Exactly. I'm the rebel rouser, so I always mix it up in there. It's even worse when those that are on team complain and don't want to learn. Exactly. That's what we call it, stupidity. Ignorance is a lack of knowledge in a given subject. Stupidity is where I refuse to learn when I could. Yep, you got it. You got it. Would you recommend using mic level for church audio live stream was connected to the ATEM? No, never, ever, ever do that. The only time you use mic level is when you have one mic directly connected. So if I have my Rode connected here, this is mic level. My Rodecaster is not mic level. So like, for example, I'll open my ATEM and my Rodecaster is a mixer. That is what I have connected here. You do not use that because you're going to start introducing a whole lot of noise, and you don't do that. So here on my mixer, here, if I come in here to audio, I have my stuff connected to number one. Number two is when I'm connecting this. But since they did the update, I don't even use that anymore. So that's how it goes. Line. If you're connecting a mixer, set your ATEM to line. Do not set it to mic. The only time you would do mic is if you're connecting a single mic directly to your ATEM. You're just saving yourself some trouble with that. Anytime leadership look at me from the pulpit all crazy, I just start staring at them and don't change or fix it. Hey, we try to do what we can. give us it free. I mean, exactly. That what is the point of us? What is the point of y'all coming here to learn on how to make the media better if it's just to cater to the select amount of people that are going to be sitting in there, they got a butt crease in that pew because that's where they've been sitting for the last 30 years. If that's all you're doing, that shows that you're lazy. You ain't doing nothing. It's about it. Go ye therefore, not sit ye therefore. And then I just don't understand. Like, I used to have a couple of people that said this back in the day. They're like, AJ, you're always coming in here with ideas. And I said, yep, and you're always shooting them down. And I said, because if I'm the only one bringing ideas on how to change something, why are you more adamant of shooting mine down? Because now you don't have nothing. You know, that's why I always say it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. Most of the time, I just get stuff done. And then if you complain about it, I remember at Antioch, I set up their Cash App, and I never turned it off. And they were like, why? AJ, we want you to turn it off. And guess what? A majority of people go through Cash App now. Because it's some people, let me leave it alone. Derek. Naomi, hey, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute. Glad you're back on here. Hey, AJ, I'm thinking about switching to ProPresenter. I've had issues with OBS probably 3 times a year. Is there another program you typically use with it? And a list of features for ProPresenter. Well, it all depends what you're trying to do, and then what are the issues that you're having with with OBS. That would help me direct it a little bit to what be able to help you with that. Back to tag. Our church services are to rally the troops, setting them up for mission within the whole world, serving Jesus to the whosoever. Exactly. It's not meant to be a country club for you just to get your fix just for you and then go from that way. But I might be wrong. I'm not, but I've always said, if you've come to give me grief, take a ticket. All right, back to Benny. He was saying his mixer is the Studio Master Orb 1222. All right, let's look at this thing. If the page wants to come up. All right, so I need a tight picture on this. So looking from here, hopefully y'all can see this. That's your effects. See, these are your auxes. So if you're connected to one of your auxes here, this will be that's for the effects. Oh, these are your auxes right here. This is going to be the control of how much level that you go out from there. So this would be your main volume that's going out. So if you have your live stream connected to aux 1, this is where you would turn that up. That's for the overall volume. But then for each channel, you need to set the volume on, say, if you're doing everything on aux 1, this knob for each channel is what's going to give how much of this channel is going to the main aux, which is what you turn up for the overall volume. So let me know, how do you have that set up? And you can go through that. MA16V3 was saying, oversimplification, but should cover most bases. If what you are connecting does not have wall power, set it to mic level. If it does have wall power, set it to line level. Otis. Appreciation message was my mind playing tricks on me. Don't. See, see, I would mix all that stuff. I would play some stuff when people, I'd be petty. If somebody would say something and they would tick me off, all of a sudden you would hear me in the background. Da 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 bum bum ba da da. If y'all don't know that, I ain't mad at you. Yes, I am actually. The church is full of spectators, but God is looking for participators. Exactly. When a spectator got an opinion, I'm more like the non-PC way. It's like, sit down and shut up and get out of the way to who are the people who are actually doing something. Because all you're doing is taking up space and putting roadblocks in the way just to bug people. Everybody riding the petty bus today. Exactly. Hey, see, this is the whole thing. I like to talk real. And that's the reason why I haven't had a chance, because I've been so busy to doing the podcast and stuff like that. I want to bring light to stuff. And that vlog was to show, hey, even as much as I do this, I still deal with tomfoolery and nonsense and deal with opinionated stupid people. People that do stupid things. Let me be more correct with that. And I don't want my channel to come off and think that, oh, if you just do it this way, AJ does it, it's perfect. No, I don't. I want to show my flaws, because again, you learn, like my daughter was like, Daddy, how come I'm not getting this right first? I said, because baby, you learn off of failure. You don't learn off of success. That's why I show my failures. Why do I know the stuff that I've done? Because I've failed so many times that I've learned how to fix it. That's what it's about. Like right now, I'm failing in business. Not that I'm quitting, but I'm failing so that I can learn. You know, I failed when I brought in clients and helped churches out and gave them 100% of my effort, and they gave me 0% of the bill. So that's when I learned to do contracts. And then when I did contracts, when somebody else failed, then I learned how to put late fees in there. Then I learned how to do termination fees. That is how I learned to do stuff. So I tell you all this other stuff. I talk about my frustrations, not just to talk about like, let's just talk about and have a petty pity party. No, I talk about it, be like, look, this is what I'm going through. This is how we're going to fix this. This is how we address it. And hopefully y'all can learn, because what's the best experience? Somebody else's, so that you don't have to repeat those lessons, so that you can learn. That's what that's all about. Mark, AJ, can you do a video on copyrights and the proper info to include on live streams and where to post it? I see a lot of people just listing this CCLI and that's it. Sure, I will work on that. Copyright placements. So we got a long list. So we got it right there. Copyright placement. I got you. Back to Naomi, excuse me. Well, recent issue, all sound indicators told me sound was going into OBS. I was monitoring the sound input through OBS, but then for some odd reason, sound went out in the middle of the stream. First thing for that, and I've seen this a couple of times, one thing that you can check is this. If you're on Windows, hit the Start and X, go to Device Manager. And when that comes in, and it depends on how your stuff is connected. If it's USB, come all the way down here to your USB controllers, go to each one of these items, go to Properties, go to power management, make sure allow the computer to turn off the device to save power is unchecked. That's the first thing I would check, because that just sounds similar to other issues that's happened before. Check that, and maybe that will help you as well too. HS Audio, OBS has a wizard feature to give you the best settings for your live stream with your internet speed. How would you suggest getting those best settings in Prism Live? Honestly, Prism Live is based off of the same thing as OBS. I would honestly pull down OBS, run that test, see what it tests out, and then take that settings and put it in Prism Live. That's what honestly I would do. Man, y'all trying to sneak things in. Sometimes either my worship or media team will straight rickroll people. Hey, I've done that too. Oh, we having a blast today. Either the petty bus or the clown car. Hey, either one. Pastor Daniel, I'm ready, TK, to start my podcast. I'm looking forward to seeing what you put out to help. Sure thing. That's the statement. Experience is the best teacher, and the better teacher is somebody else's experience. That's the other quote. Because experience, you're gonna learn. You got to go through trials and stuff like that. But if you can learn from somebody else's experiences, it helps you avoid some of those other trials that you don't have to go through. Jay Santiago, still having issues with Pro Presenter crashing. Contact them with no help. Please help. It happened every service. Give me an example. What's going on? It's just the program is crashing, because also inside of there, they should give you a log file to talk about why it failed. And I don't know if you're on Windows or Mac. On Windows, you have the event viewer that should give you some more information on why it crashed. And back to Naomi. I need lower thirds, lyric scriptures. I have music on OBS for intro and announcements, a multi-stream, and that. I had sound issues for our church anniversary. I was sick. Yeah, and see, that's one of the things I always talk about, just recording, because stuff is going to happen. And recording externally outside of that is another thing. I created a troubleshooting guide now because, of course, in the moment, I couldn't think of anything. It happens to the best of us. Come to Chicago and do a live Q&A. It needs to be ticketed. Well, I mean, look, we are talking about an Elder Rob. I haven't got it. We are in talks of doing, and I can't put this out without getting permission about it. I am looking at, for next year, doing our e-missionary conference. I have a bunch of churches here in the area. I would love to actually do it here, and would love to invite y'all to come in. I understand everybody can't come, but if you do come, it is going to be worth your while. If I can get the places that I want, I don't have to worry about the price of renting the place. The main thing is just going to be, the price is going to go for y'all have to get your hotels. There's plenty of hotels around here in the places where I want. They're all centralized to the Richmond airport. It's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Norfolk. Not a big deal if you wanted to fly in that way, or even DC. It's a 2-hour drive, but it would be worth your while, because I want to do this in person to where we can do a Q&A and have a bunch of spaces. So we are working on that. So I would love to have a live Q&A. I think that would be cool. Maybe actually do that for the next conference. I think that might be a good one. Maybe do a live Q&A and make that accessible to everybody, just like I'm doing here, but we would have an audience that can ask questions as well as online. So, and that would be a teaching lesson, so people can see from a church standpoint, how can you take in questions for people that are in person, but then also do them online. All of our stuff filters back into helping that as well too. Do I have a favorite scripture verse? Yes, I actually do. It's not the probably the most popular one right now. It's just the place where I'm at. Just being honest with you. And I don't know why I was going here. I got it right here. I got Pro Presenter here. So I'm gonna give you my 2 verses just because of where I'm at right now. So I'm not asking for sympathy. Like I tell you, I'm just being real. So let me set my scripture layout. Let's do our background. Is it this one or that one? Hold on. I got 2 of them here. No, I was right. So you want to know some of my favorite verses. So we're going to memory card 3, macro 3. Servant of God, the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brother, encounter all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have its perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, lacking nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given to him. That's one. And the other one is my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not, and in the night season I am not silent. But thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel. Our fathers trusted in thee, they trusted, and thou didst deliver them. They cried unto thee, and have delivered thy trusted in thee, and were not confounded. But I am a worm, and no man, of reproach of men, and despised by the people. All that see me laugh me to scorn. They shout out their lip, they shake their head, saying, he trusted in the Lord that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him. But thou art he that took me out of the womb. Thou didst make me hope when I was upon my. Well, I want to be clean on other stuff because anyway, that's 2 of them where I'm at right now. So, y'all asked, that's where it is. Determine youth. How do I control my PTZ within OBS using an HDMI connection without other from using the remote? Well, I need to know your setup. There is a plugin in OBS, but that will require that is it only just HDMI? Is it connected over a network? And it also depends on the type of PTZ. If it does, there's a plugin that PTZ Optics makes that will allow you to put a control inside of OBS. Need a little bit more information about your type of camera and how it's set up to give you a proper answer. No problem. And then you said, but audio interface. Is it an audio interface that's connected over USB? Because if it is, that would help benefit that as well, too. Back to Juanita. When I play music in the sanctuary and have it muted, it still plays in the live stream. I've hit fade send to live stream and turn down the music, but it doesn't seem to turn down. What is your setup? What equipment are you using? And is that a mix that's going, a separate mix that's going to your live stream? How is that? Back to Elder Rob. A good tutorial would be making podcasts with Notebook LM. Yeah, I was doing that one. I'm doing this with my sermon, and I might need to expand on that one a little bit more as well, too. Endpoint Creative, first time watching live. I really enjoy your videos. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Reverend Lightfoot, you are describing the traditionalist. Yeah. And instead of being traditionalist, need to be realist. As the word is living and is living and breathing, meaning that it changes the context of how it is applicable, changes to the environment, everything around it. So it isn't just stagnant where it's just like this, because you can read scripture one day and based off of where you're at, it means this for you. But then your life changes. You read that same scripture, it means something different. It's growing and changing with you based on the person. But to go and look at the scripture and this is the only thing it means, it's the only thing it means, it's the only thing it means, does not make sense because situations have changed. Jay Santiago, email it to me. Email me at questions@heyjhomes.com and I will see what I can do to help with you. Benny, you are welcome. Yep. Yeah. All right. You are not going to be able to control it directly if that's the only thing. does that one have Ethernet or some other type of control protocol? You're going to need to have something else, because it doesn't, only the Black Magic ones can send controls over HDMI like that, but that's with, you need a switcher and you need a camera and all that other stuff. If that's the only thing you have, there's nothing that I know of that can send controls over HDMI, because the camera would need to be able to receive them as well, in the chips that do that. And no, it does not have that. Thank you, much appreciated. GHM Church Media. Is there an option for an ATEM Mini Pro that can be record and stream at the same time? Yes, it actually can, but it needs to know your setup. Are you using the USB out to go to something else? But yes, the ATEM Mini Pro can record and stream. If you're having a problem, it makes me think that you're using the USB out to feed into something else. The ATEM Mini Pro can stream itself natively. It can be controlled over the network, and then the USB can be used to record to a drive, kind of like this. So this is what I have with mine. And once you have it set up, you can control everything over a network. But if you're not able to do that, that makes me think that you're using the USB out to feed into something else. Larry, can you update an Xbox controller setting in OBS via... Can you update an Xbox controller settings in OBS via the OBS plugin? I am not aware of that. I don't believe so, but I'm not exactly sure what type of plugin you're talking about. Are you talking about for controlling your cameras? Because I'm not sure. Yeah, if you're using USB to feed into like OBS or some other program, or going directly to whatever, then no, you cannot do that. You need to use the USB. After you set everything up, you can set everything up over USB, and then as long as your computer and the ATEM is connected over Ethernet cable, you could do that. Like, for example, like here, let me zoom out to a different camera. So like here, this computer can control the ATEM, but it's not connected directly because it's pulling up everything over the network. So if I open up at the ATEM control software here, which looks like it's never been opened on this computer, and I connect to my ATEM right now, see, I can switch over to, I can change over to this and switch it here because it's connected over the network. Once you have everything connected, your ATEM, set everything up, set up where it's going to stream to, because originally you could only make those changes over USB, but they do have a software update that, and not that one, we want this one. And they've done an update, and I believe it's 9.6 and higher. I'm on 9.6.1. I think it's on 9.6.3 that they are currently now. But like if I go here to the setup, inside of here, there's an option now that says, do you want to be able to make administrative changes over USB only? That's what it used to be. But if you make it over USB and Ethernet, now you can just control the ATEM over Ethernet. You can't get video over Ethernet. You can just get the controls. So you set up everything over USB or Ethernet, whichever one, set it up where it's going to stream to, all that other good stuff. And you can control the ATEM over Ethernet, then hook up your drive, and then let the ATEM do its streaming directly. Let it stream to wherever you need it to go. And if you're using OBS, I did a video about this, send the OBS feed into your ATEM. So if you're using graphics or anything like that, you could send all of that graphic stuff in OBS to your ATEM, and then you can still have the bells and whistles. You just use your downstream key to put all the graphics and stuff like that for your live stream. Then the ATEM can live stream, do the HDMI out. Then the USB is freed up for you to record. That's what I need. I can't even tell you because I simply volunteered for media ministry for one night and have since become the main person. I don't have any proper training. None of us really have, and that's why we're kind of working on this stuff as well, too. Matthew 23, 1 through 13 is one of my favorite scriptures. Thank you for that. What is the best HDMI PTZ control would you recommend? There is not one that controls over HDMI that I'm aware of. I think we gotta reach our limit today, folks. I mean, very, very animated conversations today. Really enjoy it. Thank y'all so much. Like I said, if y'all still have some other questions for me, folks, you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Like I said, give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. But again, folks, what powers this channel is my company and whenever clients want to pay me on time, as well as great people like y'all who become supporters. And if you like what we do, you can become a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member. Go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can click the join button down below, or you can always get some stuff from eMissionary Gear, little bells and doodads and stuff like that to help. But I want to give a big shout out to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members that are helping us do this stuff. So again, if you like what we do, you can get started for as low as $1 a month with Patreon, or you can click the join button down below for YouTube. I think YouTube starts at like $3 or something like that. And as my way of saying thanks, I give you access to our roundtables. I put you in our giveaways that I list y'all in there twice. So you have 2 times the chance for doing that. eMissionary levels, and I think that's $30 a month. You get a free consultation with me every month. You just got to book it with me. I have a bunch of people that haven't booked any, but that is available. But that's it. So no matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. And I need to really do this because we talked about it on our roundtable. I might even just record this podcast today so I can get it out the way. Folks, I know I always say, thank you for what you're doing. You're appreciated. If no one's ever told you, thank you for what you're doing. The reason I say that is there's nothing common about you. You are rare. And even if people don't see your worth, that doesn't mean that you're worthless. Some people can look at the ground and pick up a lump of dirt and they're just like, oh, this is worthless. Somebody else can pick it up saying, no, this is a diamond covered with dirt. Just because some people don't appreciate your worth does not mean that you're worthless. You're not common. You're rare. To do what we do, it takes a special person. And the fact that you're doing that, you are special. Whether your pastor, your church, anybody does not tell you that, I'm telling you that you are. Not because I'm some great person. It's because I'm in the battle with you doing the same thing. It takes a special person to do what we do, especially if you're not getting paid. I'm not getting paid for what I do. So again, thank you for what you're doing. Again, I'm not a part of your media ministry. I'm not a part of your church, but I am we're all a part of this. It's not my mission to change the entire world, nor is it yours. It's our mission. It's to work together. My whole thing is not to be in competition with you, but to compliment you and empower you as best as I can with the little bit that I know to help your journey go a little bit easier. And I hope whatever I pass to y'all, you willingly share that information with other churches that are around you. That's how we multiply. That's how we change. It's about us working together. And I hope what I do has helped. You're much appreciated. If no one's ever told you, thank you for what you're doing. You're much appreciated. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, folks. And we'll be talking with y'all on our next one. Later, folks.